Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's video I have my first ever book unhaul for you, and so let's just get into it. So first of all, I feel like I have to give a little backstory here. I know that I have not read most of these books that I'm getting rid of, and the reasoning for that is last year was when or I guess not last year, 2020 was when I first got into reading for like the first time in my life. Prior to that, I only owned the really like major series. Like I had Percy Jackson, Harry Potter, The Hunger Games, like those kind of books. I didn't have anything else. I just had the big books that were like super popular. And at the time that I became obsessed with reading, all of the stores in my area were closed for COVID. And also the library was closed. And I had lost my library card, so I couldn't get access to their ebooks either. So I just like had nothing. The only thing I could do was purchase books. And because I was so new to reading, and it was like, I was never one of those people as a kid that was super into reading like ever. I probably read maybe 30 books before 2020 in my life, excluding like school books. And so like the whole like thing was just new to me. I didn't know what I liked and what I didn't like. I was just buying anything that sounded good. I was also shopping a ton at Book Outlet, which I've kind of stopped doing so much now. And because of that, I have accumulated a lot of books that I know now I won't read. I sort of, when I was going through it, was like, okay, if I had to choose between this YA book and a Kindle Unlimited dark romance, like what am I realistically going to choose? And honestly, the answer is every time I will probably choose the Kindle Unlimited book. So I'm like, why am I keeping all these books that I'm not going to read? So these are going to be donated. I'm not just like getting rid of them, but like they are going to go to the used book sale that I actually went to recently. And so they're going to a good cause. They will find new homes, and that's good for them because I probably won't read these. Some of them are actually books that came from my cousin that I know I won't read either. We have very different book tastes, so a lot of the stuff that she passes down to me I don't necessarily read, but I do keep some of her stuff. And sort of my criteria for this too as well was if I don't think I'm gonna read it, but I'm not sure, and the library has it, I'm getting rid of it. Because if I really ever someday really want to read it, I'll get it from the library. And so that's sort of the reason why I have so many books that I'm getting rid of that I haven't really read. So the first book is Infinite in Between by Caroline Mackler. This one I can tell just by looking at that I will never read because this is just a straight up YA contemporary. There is no romance in here. It literally says 5 teens, 4 years, an unforgettable journey. Like this is literally like their high school experience. And it is like 400 pages long, and there's just no time in the future where I see myself reading 400 pages of YA contemporary. Like that just will not happen. So this one is going. And that's sort of the same reason this one is going. This is The Night We Said Yes by Lauren Gibaldi. I'm sure these are good books, but definitely not like targeted at my, like at me, basically. Like I'm not the audience for these books, if that makes sense. And so these are hopefully going to go to like a high school student maybe who will really like them, but I just know that these will sit on my shelves forever and never be read. So that's another one that's going because it's a YA contemporary. Then there is this one. This is My First Love and Other Disasters by Francine Pascal. This has got like 3 books in it. I did not know this was this huge when I ordered it. This was another Book Outlet purchase. I won't read this. I know just by how big this book is that I will not read this because I would have to really, really love something to read a book this big. And this just isn't going to be it. And I know this was like $2 and that's why I bought it, but that's just not going to be it for me. Next is Almost Adulting by Arden Rose. I bought this again. Almost all of these are probably from Book Outlet. I won't read this. I skimmed it. It wasn't what I thought it was going to be. It was a lot more, I don't know, for some reason I didn't think it was going to be based solely on this one girl's experiences, but it is. It's literally just like her life story and becoming an adult, and I just found that like super boring. So I won't finish this. I've skimmed it, like I said, and that'll be probably all I ever do. So that one is going to go. Next is The Truth Lies Here by Lindsay Klingle. This one, again, Book Outlet purchase. I don't know, maybe I'll keep this one. It says it takes place on a lake. I do love a good like lake house set book, but honestly, I have so many like thrillers and mysteries that I would read before this that I'm just like, I don't know if it's really worth keeping at this point because like I said, there are so many others that I think I would pick up before that one. And next is A Nearly Normal Family by M.T. Edwardson. This one was, I believe I got this at the book outlet box sale. It's like super like damaged, like it doesn't really fit on my shelf. It's huge, like it's super tall, and the cover's just like not nice. Like that doesn't match my like romance books, you know? And my library has this one, so I was kind of just like, you know what, if I want to read it, I'll get it from the library. It's not something that I feel like I need to own, so this one is going to go as well. This one I may keep. I'm back and forth on this one. This is Before I Fall by Lauren Oliver. It's turned into a movie. This is another one that's in here because it's super big and it's a YA contemporary, and I just don't see me reading these like really long YA contemporaries, but I'm like, maybe one day I'd want to watch the movie and I'd pick up the book. I don't know. The library probably has this one as well, so I could just get it from there. Next is Royal Holiday by Jasmine Guillory. I bought this and I didn't realize it was the like 4th book in a series, and also it follows a woman in her like 50s or 60s, I think, and I don't think I'm gonna like that necessarily. And also the title should include me into this, but it takes place like within the royal family, and I don't really vibe with that. That's not something I like in my books, so I don't think I'll ever collect the rest of this series. I don't know if I'll ever even read this book in particular. My library, I'm sure, has this. So this is going to go to someone who hopefully will appreciate it a lot more than I will. Next is 2 books. We have From Twinkle with Love and When Dimple Met Rishi by Sandhya Menon. I don't think I'll read these. I had heard like good things about these before I bought them, and then after that everything just seemed to be like not so great about what people were saying about these. So I don't think I'll ever read them. They can go to someone else. These are also, I believe, YA romances, so probably not something I'll pick up anytime soon. Next is 13 Little Blue Envelopes by Maureen Johnson. This is again a YA contemporary, not something I see myself picking up anytime in the near future or distant future. Pretty sure my library does have this one, so I'm not too concerned about that. These next 2 books were from my cousin. This is Starflight and Starfall by Melissa Landers. I'm not into like aliens, space, like none of that's really my thing, so I don't think I'll ever read these. The library does have both of these. I checked, so these are both gonna go. I'm, like I said, not super into like the alien sci-fi, like Star Wars things, like that's not me, so I don't think I'll read those. Next is The Foreseeable Future by Emily Adrian. Again, another YA book that has, I'm pretty sure, no romance in it, so I'm not super interested in picking this up. My library has that one as well. I did check for that one. Next is Shuffle Repeat by Jen Klein. I don't even know why I bought this one. I had my eye on it for a long time, finally bought it. I have no interest in reading it. I think it's a YA romance, but again, like, if I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, am I going to read this or like a mafia romance? Like, I am never going to choose this over a mafia romance. So that is why these have to go. This next book I'm not sure about. This is Finding Audrey by Sophie Kinsella. I actually started this one, and I got about halfway through, and I did really like it. The girl in this has like really bad anxiety, and there's like a guy that is helping her, I guess. She's going out to meet him, and that's like helping her get over her anxiety. But I don't know. I stopped halfway through it and just never picked it up like a year ago. And so I don't know if I should keep it and finish it. My library does have this one, so I figured if I was going to read this one, I'd probably just listen to the audiobook. And so maybe I'll just get rid of this one because, I don't know. I did like it, like I said, but I just like stopped in the middle and never picked it back up, and I feel like that's not really a good sign. So, not sure about that one. Next is 9 Days and 9 Nights by Katie Cotugno. I have a lot of books by her in here. I don't know why I bought like all the books that they had by her. I haven't read any of them. They're all YA romances, and I know I'm not going to read them now. Like I said, I really hate like that I haven't read a lot of these, but I know that I won't, and I didn't know what I liked when I bought them, so it was just kind of like a learning experience. Next, I have this series, and I have had this since I was in middle school. Like, definitely grade 7 and 8 for sure I had these. This is the Daughters series. It's written by Joanna Philbin, who I believe is the daughter of Regis Philbin, and it follows the daughters of celebrities, basically. It's a fictional book, but obviously she has some, like, real-life experience with that. So there's the daughters break the rules, and the daughters take the stage. I have read maybe the first half of this one back in grade 7 and never finished it. You can see this is like destroyed from like being in my backpack, and the back is all covered in pencil markings from being in my backpack. Like I carried this around everywhere but never read it, and I don't see me picking these up. The library has them if I ever do want them, but I don't think I will because I've had since grade 7 to read them and I haven't. Next is Death in the Stars, a Kate Shackleton mystery by Frances Brody. I didn't realize this is like number 9 in a series. I think because it's a mystery you probably don't have to read them in order, but I also have no desire to like collect the series, so I figured I would just get rid of this one because I don't really need just one book from the series. And the library has that one and all the other ones, so I'm like, that's fine. If I ever want to read those, I will get them from there. Next is Again But Better by Christine Riccio. This is one of the very first books I bought in 2020. I was really excited about it. It follows a girl who sort of redoes her university experience, like she wants to recreate it, which is something that I related to a lot, but I also don't see me picking up, like this is a huge book, like 370 something pages, and it's like a big book, like tall wise, and I just don't see me picking this up. I think I'm past the point of caring that my university experience sucked, so I don't really want to read a book about that anymore either. So this one's gonna go. I did think it was cool that she was a YouTuber, and that was like part of the reason why I bought it, but I just don't care anymore, so that's gonna go. Next is A Court of Frost and Starlight by Sarah J. Maas. This one is going because I bought the box set that had this in it, so this is now just like an extra copy that I have, so that's gonna go. Next is How the Light Gets In by Katie Upperman, another YA contemporary that I won't read. Dumplin' by Julie Murphy, also something I won't pick up. Girl on Tour by Zoe Sugg. This is Zoella, which is why I picked it up, but I don't think I'll read this, so like, whatever. The library has that one too. Then I have Side Effects May Vary by Julie Murphy. Don't think I want to read this one. It's about a girl who thinks she's dying but then doesn't, so she has to live with all these crazy things she did, and I don't really like reading about people dying or almost dying, so don't think I'll like that one. We have Top 10, another Katie Cotuno book, and 99 Days, another book by her as well. Then we have another book from my cousin. This is Carve the Mark by Veronica Roth. I know nothing about this book other than I probably won't read it. I read the description, didn't love it. These books are just duplicates. This is The Rise of Nine and The Scorch Trials. I already have other copies of these. Summer in the Invisible City by Juliana Romano, another YA contemporary I won't pick up. And lastly, Yes, No, Maybe So by Becky Albertalli and Aisha Saeed. I won't read this. It's very politics based and I don't like that, so this is gonna go. And Recommended for You by Laura Silverman I already read. It was okay, but I won't pick this up again, so that is gonna go as well. And so that is everything. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button down below. I do new videos every single week, and I'll see you next time.